What's going on, everyone? So, reports came out that the Charlotte Hornets are expected to shop Marl Williams once again this NBA offseason. What happened? Right? What happened? I thought he was your guy. I thought he was the guy you wanted to keep. I thought he was your future. You're so glad that the Lakers didn't go through with the trade. What did I talk about as soon as it fell through? What's going to end up happening is the Lakers are going to end up probably getting him in the offseason for less. Or maybe it's some other team. Charlotte might go like, hey, we don't want to trade him to the Lakers now. But chances are, I still think, because, how many teams are going to go rush to the door for Marl Williams, right? Obviously, if Charlotte is still so they traded him for a great return. Don't get me wrong. There was a genuine argument that they fleeced the Lakers, but I was okay with it because the Lakers needed that so badly, right? And he's young enough to kind of justify it. And if he became the guy that many of us thought he could be, which is a legit, all-star caliber 20 and 10 center that can, play some defense. It really was just like, can he buy in on the defensive side of things, right? We've seen what Luka has done with Jackson Hayes, right? In my opinion, Marl Williams is better than Jackson Hayes, right? So I think that Marl Williams would be even better. The guy's having a good season, right? He's played in games since, the failed trade. So I looked at it and was like, man, Marl Williams really could raise the ceiling for the Lakers, right? The Lakers' championship chances really skyrocketed as well because the consensus was like, hey, this is exactly what the Lakers needed. Yes, they're probably overpaying for it, but you got to pay to play. And on top of that, you just got Luka, and he's young enough to be, now you have Luka and Marl Williams for the next 10 years, right? That was the idea. That was the goal. And then obviously with the failed physical, Lakers were like, we don't want to give that up. Now, a lot of people think that it's solely because the Lakers realized that they overpaid, but why? No one was criticizing. No one was like, what are the Lakers doing? Why are the Lakers doing this? This is foolishness. No, everyone was like, the Lakers might have just won a championship. And if the Lakers win a championship, no one's going to be talking about the package that they gave up. No one's going to care. Everyone's going to talk about the Lakers. Lakers fleeced again. Oh my goodness, right? If the Lakers win, even if it's not this year, right? If they would have won at any point with Marl Williams, then it was worth it, right? So, and again, the consensus was this is exactly what the Lakers needed. It wasn't like, they're trading for some scrub. No, it's just like, man, it's a lot to give up for Marl Williams with his injury history, right? And a lot of people are like, well, the Lakers, they knew his injury history. Yes, but the Lakers weren't concerned. They said, we weren't concerned with the things that are known, right? We're not worried about his back and all those, that seems to be cleared up. That seems to be okay. We're worried about his long-term lasting effects, right? Something that I've talked about is the Andrew Bynum situation, right? Lakers, the reason Andrew Bynum fell to the Lakers was because of his deteriorating knees. They didn't know how long he was going to last. And you saw it. He was out of the league by 30, right? He signed a new contract. He was out of the league before his contract was up, right? So Lakers knew and were willing to take the chance on Andrew Bynum, but they got him for nothing, right? They didn't have to give up and sell the farm to go get him. It's different when you have to give up a young player plus a bunch of draft picks. I think what will happen, and I said this, a month or two ago now, that I think what will end up happening is Dalton Connect will go and, maybe they'll throw a protected first or something like that. It'll be for probably half the package, right? Because Charlotte apparently really wanted Dalton Connect. That's what they cared about more. So I could see them still really wanting Dalton Connect. And in a perfect world, could you just do a swap? That would be great. But I think Lakers may have to give up something. So we'll see. We'll see what they end up ultimately giving up. Maybe it's a pick swap and, Dalton Connect. If you gave up a pick swap and Connect and got Marl Williams, I'd be all of joy, right? To me, that would be great. I'd be perfectly okay with that. And I do think that now the risk is worth the reward, right? But this whole thing just proves that the Lakers were right, right? Why in the world would Charlotte want to trade a young center that's already giving you 20 and 10, right? And is young enough to be your franchise cornerstone for the next 10 plus years, right? Why would you want to trade that to begin with, right? Okay, you could argue that the package, hey, everyone has a price. That was Charlotte's price for Mark Williams. They got a young player in Dalton Connect, a bunch of picks and stuff, right? Okay, sure. Well, now you're not going to get anywhere close to what the Lakers are willing to pay for. You're not. No team is going to give that to you, especially now, especially after these circumstances. So if Mark Williams is really your guy, if Mark Williams is, your franchise cornerstone and you're so glad that it didn't trade him and that, he's the answer, right? Like if that's true and you're being honest about that, then why would you look to trade him in the offseason? Right? Like you still have control over him. I talked about that too, right? Like what is Mark Williams just not going to play? He's already playing for you. So you don't have to look to trade him anytime soon. I mean, he's going to need a new contract soon, but he's restricted. You have full control over him. You can dictate what you want to do, right? So why wouldn't you, unless they don't want to pay him, why wouldn't you want to pay him if he's your guy, right? He's the guy. Like why wouldn't you want to give him, $20 million a year, 4 years, 40 million or 80 million, whatever, right? Like, why wouldn't you want to do that? Is it because you're worried about his long-term health also? Are you worried about the same? Again, if the Charlotte Hornets really felt that the Lakers just bailed solely on just cold feet, they would have challenged it. And I've seen a lot of people make the argument, do you know how hard it is to actually win the challenge? I agree. They're probably not winning it. But why do you still challenge it? To prove his value. The reason you still challenge it is to show the rest of the league that the Lakers were wrong. The Lakers lied. 1, it makes the Lakers look bad. 2, it makes you look better. And 3, it shows that Mark Williams is healthy and fine. Because all of that due diligence is still going to have to get out. All of the information, all of your test results, everything still would have gotten out. So you would have, if you challenged it, even if you lost the challenge, right? Because they probably would have, right? I don't think anybody argued that the Hornets would win. I didn't even say the Hornets would win, right? But you challenge it to show the rest of the league, hey, no, the Lakers were wrong. The Lakers got cold feet. The Lakers were lying, right? Mark Williams is fine, right? They just realized that they gave up too much. That's not our fault. That's not Mark Williams' fault. Hey, league, ding, 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 look, right? That's why you do it. You do it so that way, if you do want to trade him in the offseason because you feel the relationship has been squandered or whatever, or Mark Williams wants out or whatever, now you can do it and justify it and get a return reasonable enough to justify trading Mark Williams again. That's why you challenge it. That's why you appeal that and do it. Because again, you're not going to win. You're not going to win. But guess what? The other argument was like, oh, it would look bad and, Mark Williams, is he going to want to stick around? He probably doesn't want to stick around right now anyway. And now you're going to trade him in the offseason. So who cares? Right? Who cares if he's like, dude, I went out here. Best case scenario, you look right. Which is why I don't buy that Charlotte. I don't think Charlotte necessarily knew. Like, I don't think Charlotte tried to pull a fast one to the level that a lot of other people think. A lot of people think that they try to one up on the Lakers. Teams aren't like readily, actively doing, physicals and running players through all these tests and stuff regularly, right? Usually when a guy gets injured and he comes back, they just do the basics, just make sure he has conditioning, and then he gets cleared and that's it, right? Lakers did an extensive evaluation, right? They didn't just go like, hey, I want you to run to the other side of the court, touch the wall and come back. Okay, he's good, check, right? They weren't doing that, right? Like usually when a guy gets hurt, right, they gets on-court activity. They monitor the on-court activity. A doctor goes, yeah, all the tests are coming back fine. They're not doing like in-depth, like analysis on his body, his knees, his tissues, like all that. There's joints, they're not doing that, right? Like Charlotte probably hasn't given them anything close to that level of a overall physical in years, right? Like, again, I'm not saying Charlotte didn't give him something, right, when he got hurt and saw if he come back. But also, one of the biggest issues, and even Charlotte fans came and said this. Like, so it's not just me. Charlotte fans, I had tons of comments from Charlotte fans that were like, hey, one of the big reasons why Mark Williams keeps getting hurt is because Charlotte keeps rushing him back. Charlotte keeps wanting to expedite the process rather than letting him heal, right? So, and teams just have different standards, right? Charlotte's standard is probably not as high as the Lakers standard. Lakers just completely revamped their medical team. The Dr. Sims, the guy who was the head of the Lakers team, was for Team USA. And before that did like track and field or something like that for the Olympics, right? Like they completely changed and revamped their entire medical team. Their standard is top notch now. Right? Why, knock on wood, it's why guys have been healthier this year, right? Like all the major injuries were last season, right? Like Vando, Gabe, Vincent, guys like that. Guys have been healthy. Have guys missed time? Sure, but that's just the natural course of the season. Like I don't care how you could have the greatest doctors in the history of anything. Guys are still going to get hurt. It's part of the game, right? But for the most part, Lakers have been really good, really healthy, right? And, continue to be, again, knock on wood. So, I just think this is hilarious. I just wanted to talk about it. Saw the reports and I was like, really? I thought he was your guy. I thought the Lakers were just the big bad Lakers. I thought they were just mean and Anyway, as always, this is a discussion and I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? I feel, what are your thoughts? Do you agree with my points, disagree with my points, kind of mixed in the middle? Do you think that the Lakers should try to acquire or at least touch base, at least do your due diligence with the Charlotte Hornets to kind of see maybe they can bring Mark Williams back, bring him in, or not back, but into the fold to begin with. If you can get him more on a reasonable package, I think it's something that you definitely consider, right? I still like the idea of Mark Williams. There's still a big part of me that wanted that trade to go through. Right? I just trust the Lakers coaching or training staff, right? So if they don't think that it's justifiable, then I believe them. I'm not doing the evaluations. Why would I think otherwise? So anyway, again, let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. So we enjoy these types of videos and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.